Traveling and happiness. So, how can you experience the maximum amount of joy when traveling this summer? Happiness expert Sean Acor is helping us to uncover the unique happiness factors that make travel joyous. I appreciate you joining us. I gotta ask, what is the Joy Index?
So the Joy Index is an attempt to take the research I've been doing over the past decade, studying the science of happiness, traveling to 51 countries to figure out what it is that creates happiness. And in a partnership with Bank of America and Condé Nast, we look to see which of the destinations created the most joy, not just to live in, but to travel to. So the Joy Index is a list of the destinations that actually hit the top 6 factors that create greatest levels of happiness around the world.
All right, and tell me in some of your studies and stuff, why you think it's important to study and explore the relationship between travel and happiness.
So one of the things we found is that happiness is one of the greatest predictors of how long you live, our business outcomes, our educational outcomes. It affects our well-being. So we know happiness is crucial. How do we get to happiness is important. And travel is actually one of the best ways we can reach levels of happiness if we're traveling smart. So part of the reason I partnered with Bank of America is we were looking to see if we could actually find which destinations would actually cause the greatest levels of happiness when people return back home from the trip as they're sharing those memorable experiences.
All right, so we're talking happiness factors. Explain to our viewers what a happiness factor is.
So there's 6 that we looked at worldwide that predict greatest levels of happiness. For us, one of the most important ones we found was social connection. We looked at things like culture and awe and wonder. But for me, connection is the big one, because we found if you have social connection, it's the greatest predictor of long-term happiness, which means we've been traveling wrong. We oftentimes are thinking about what we are going to do on the trip and not who we're doing it with. But it's the who that causes the most memorable experiences for the brain and activates the most joy when we return back home as we're sharing those experiences as well.
You're speaking my language. I love traveling. I think everyone should do it more and as much as possible. But this is a unique one here. You're saying Houston is one of the top 10 places to go this summer. I mean, look, I'm from Jacksonville, Jaguars, Houston Texans. I'm having trouble here. I'm having trouble telling people to go to Houston. Tell me why.
Well, it was a surprise to me too. I grew up in Texas, but part of the reason we do this research is to learn new things. And I'm here in Houston right now, and what I'm finding is one of the most thriving cultural scenes I've seen in all the 51 countries I've traveled to. And part of the reason for it is it's the most diverse city in the United States right now, a large city, and it's the 4th largest city in the United States. And in the midst of that, you have incredible cuisine and people from all different walks of life. And when you're able to connect with them and see their experiences, it allows you to feel more joy and also more social connection in the world as well. So part of what we're looking at is the surprise factor actually helps as well. If you look at the Joy Index, if you go to cntraveler.com/Joy Index, you can see the top 10 destinations, and actually most of them are a surprise. There's places like Hawaii, but there's places like Houston as well. But if you think about it, you go to Houston, you have an amazing time, you have an amazing story to then tell back to your friends, because they probably haven't thought about Houston as a travel destination.
No, I'm just kidding. Houston's a beautiful city. They just got a terrible football team. Sean, where can our viewers go to get more information about all this in one spot?
I think the best place is cntraveler.com/Joy Index. It's got not only the top 10 destinations and our methodology behind the science, but it also has don't misses in each of the locations, so that as you're going to experience those, you're making sure you're hitting all 6 of those happiness factors in each place you get to travel to.
Good stuff. Appreciate you sharing it. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
And we want to thank Bank of America for making that segment possible.
Very cool. That's why I love Chicago so much. All the public art.